Set yourself up to purposefully take on the day. I view the morning routine as a period of time for you to get organised, get your head straight, the emotional, the mindset, using your brain, practicing a new skill, fueling your body. That is definitely going to benefit your life.
Just work, just work, just work, just work. Work.
Hey guys, welcome to another video. If you're new, my name is Joanna Wilson. Today we are coming at you from the car, which is probably not going to be the most weird and wonderful location throughout this period of time. I'm obviously doing daily uploads at the minute, and that means that I'm filming a lot of different content in a lot of different places. Also, excuse this on my head. I'm going to a party tonight and wash my hair this morning, so the t-shirt is currently holding in all my hair and making it as curly as possible. This is going to be a solo just chat with Jay, and we're going to be talking about morning routines. So let's get straight into it. In terms of my definition of a morning routine, I would say that it's basically a dedicated period of time before you get into your day where you do something. Now that can be absolutely anything, and it can be any length of time, and it can be sort of at any time during the day depending on when you're getting up. But I would say that my personal journey with morning routines started after reading the book The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I've spoken quite a bit about this in various different videos, but that honestly changed my perception of morning routines and how I start my day. I read this book when I was about 17. I was doing my A-levels at the time, and immediately after reading it, started implementing the 6 principles that he talks about in terms of a morning routine, and it honestly changed my life. It just became second nature for me, and I think that until I had a prolonged period when I didn't do that, and actually for me this was when I first got into a long-term relationship, and it was more desirable to stay in bed with my boyfriend than it was to get up and do my morning routine. I realised that actually how much of an impact having that set structured time on a morning was for me. I thoroughly believe at this point that everybody should have a set structured morning routine. Now, I've done a lot of research on morning routine since that. I've read a lot more books that are dedicated around the morning routine. But in everything that I've read and everything that I've done and experienced, I think the biggest benefit of having a morning routine is basically to set yourself up to purposefully take on the day, if that makes sense. So not just sleepwalking into the day. So many people snooze their alarm, they get up late, and they're already, before their day even starts, behind. I view the morning routine as almost like a period of time for you to get organised, get your head straight, do things that you enjoy, do things that are gonna make you use your brain in slightly different ways before then you start your day. I think there's a lot of press based around morning routines that can actually be toxic at times and also quite misleading, and can actually put people off having a structured morning routine than encourage people to do a morning routine. And that's sort of people that are getting up at 5:30 a.m, they're doing a 10-mile run before breakfast, they're spending half an hour meditating. And if you can implement that sort of stuff into your day, that is definitely going to benefit your life on a morning. But I don't like the way that the media has portrayed this to sort of be the be-all and end-all of morning routines. It can be as simple as just 5 minutes of getting your life together, getting your head screwed on, spending some time in silence, learning a little bit before then going into your day. And in fact, if you are a person who snoozes your alarm every morning, it could literally just be not snoozing your alarm and getting up when it goes off. The reality of this is your morning routine is going to be completely individualized to you. What works for you might not work for me, and vice versa. Now, I adapted the principles from Hal Elrod's book, The Miracle Morning, and created my morning routine, which was comprised of 7 M's. The first M was monitor. The second M was meditate. The third M was mantras. The fourth M was material. The fifth M was master plan. The sixth M was movement. And the seventh M was meal. So taking them in turn, the monitoring section for me was analysing how I was feeling on that morning, how did I sleep the night before, and what are things that I'm grateful for today. I feel like it's really important to practice sort of self-reflection, meditation and mindset related practices first thing on a morning. Meditation then is something that is often talked about. I think it is very underrated, but also quite a scary task for people. Now, meditation for anybody can be completely different. It can be as simple as just sitting in silence, or it can actually form a practice where you become in a state where your mind is completely clear. I think for me, the purpose of meditation is trying to clear my mind first thing on a morning. And what you have to do is try and figure out how you can do that personally. I've done a lot of guided meditations and they are flipping hard. The more somebody tries to tell you to clear your mind, the more things just absolutely race into it. But like anything, meditation is a skill. The art of clearing your mind is a skill. And the more you practice it, the better you will get at it. Mantras then was my third M, and this was basically reading through and writing out things that I wanted to embody in my life and in my day. I have a long mantra which came from the original Hal Elrod book, and I read through that at least twice every morning. I then started to write out my own mantras and use mantra apps, and the things that I would write down generally started with I am, and they were things that I wanted to embody or encompass into my life. When you are reading those things and letting them sink into your brain on a daily basis, it helps you take the steps towards doing those things and becoming that person, because it is putting it fresh into your mind first thing on a morning. My fourth M was material. Now this was a little bit of a cop-out. I love to read on a morning. There isn't very many words that begin with M that mean reading, so material was the one that I landed on. And basically learning on a morning is a great thing, and I like to sort of set my learning on a morning aside from my day-to-day work and how I live my life, and just engross different types of information or practice new skills. I read a lot of books that teach me a lot of things depending on where I'm at in my life, and I find that if I read on an evening before bed, I basically read about 4 words and go to sleep. So I needed to get reading purposefully into my day in order to keep getting through books, keep learning information, keep taking it on. And I added that to my morning routine for about 15 to 20 minutes. So reading material was the fourth M. Master plan. You are never going to be able to grab hold of your day unless you have planned it, unless you are purposefully going into that day, spending some time during your morning routine, planning what you are going to do in that day has been a game changer for me. I use my lifestyle planner in order to do that, in order to block out the time, in order to section my day into different parts, and just doing that first thing on a morning of how that day is going to look really gives me intention for the day and really means that I'm not just sleepwalking into the things that I'm doing. Movement was the 6th out of 7th M, and I think it's really important on a morning just to get that body moving. Now, whether it's a minute or so of just wriggling out, doing star jumps, doing crunches, doing squats, or whether you're going on a long walk, whether you're doing a yoga session, a run, a HIIT workout, getting that body moving first thing on a morning definitely sets you up for success. It ticks off one of those things that you often put off later in the day straight away, and it makes you feel really good. Meal was my last of the 7 M's, and that was basically getting something really nutritious into your body first thing on a morning too. That was my original morning routine, which was adapted from everything that I'd learned from doing it for a couple of years and taking it out there to the market. We did these as live morning routines for about 2.5 years. During lockdown, we were doing live morning routines on Zoom, and this was a sort of formula that really worked for me. It was only recently that I decided to slightly switch up the way that I approach my morning routine and the way that I supported others to approach their morning routine. And the reason for this is because I think that different things work for different people and it needs to be adaptable. The material, people might not want to read, they might want to do a puzzle, or they might want to use their brain in a different way or practice a specific skill. The same with sort of the earlier parts of the morning routine. They were very rigid in just what I like to do and what I wanted to do and what I was taking to other people and advising them to do too. Therefore, I decided to change the framework of the morning routine, and instead of it being in 7 sections, it then became to be 3 sections. And these 3 sections are soul, mind, and body. And I talk about these 3 sections in my Just Work On You program, which is available to purchase. It's going to be 50% off throughout the whole of the Black Friday weekend. And we're going to be working on these 3 sections together in mine and Ash's program that's going to be launching on the 1st of December, which is called 24. There is more information to come on all of that soon, and I'm very, very excited about it. But what I'm going to briefly talk about is the way that I organise my morning now, what I recommend other people to do with their morning, and hopefully you will have gained some benefit from it. The soul part of the morning routine, I think, is feeding that mindfulness part of your body and feeding your soul, quote unquote. Again, this might sound a little bit hippie. The emotional, the mindset, the manifestation side of things, gratitude, assessing where we're at, assessing how we're feeling, journaling, meditation if that's what you decide to do, visualization, but lots of sort of mindfulness practices that help support your spiritual self, your emotional self, and your mental self as well. I think that should take up the first third of your morning routine. We then move on to the mind section, but the mind section, in my opinion, sort of forms using your brain, practicing a new skill, getting that mind going, and the planning and organisation part of your day. Spending some time in the morning using your brain, it's really good first thing to learn new things, to take in new information, to do things that are not work related, but they're equally using your brain. So that might be practicing a new skill, that might be doing a brain teaser or a puzzle, that might be reading a book if that's what you like and choose to do. It might be listening to a podcast to gain some of that new information. The second part of that is the planning. So getting hold of your day and planning it and making sure that everything you're doing in your day is set out, you know what you're doing, you know what you're heading into, you've got some non-negotiables, you've got your to-do list checked in with. That is the second third of the morning routine. The third section is body. So fueling your body and getting that body moving. Now that can be in whatever way you want it to be. It can be in a workout, it could be in a stretch, it could be in a yoga session, a walk, it could just be getting that body wriggling and moving, it could be actually spending that time making your breakfast and fueling it if that's what you choose to do. I think that this format for the morning routine is really good for 2 reasons. The first one is it allows flexibility, so you can be working on the things that you like in each of those soul, mind and body sections that set you up for success in your day. The second thing is that it is scalable. So if you've got 3/3 that your morning routine falls into, it means that you could spend a minute doing each of those things. It means that you could spend 10 minutes doing each of those things, or it means that you could spend 30 minutes doing each of those things. That's the structure of the morning routine that I recommend and I'm working on in my programs, I'm working on with individuals, and we're going to be working on in that new 24 program that's coming on December the 1st. The last thing I want you to think about is scalability, and I've got a very cool activity that I recommend that everybody does right now. What I want everybody to do is think about what activities for them would fall into the soul, the mind and the body section to help them get the most out of their day. I then want you to write yourself an ideal morning routine that is 10 minutes long, an ideal morning routine that is 30 minutes long, and an ideal morning routine that is an hour long. What that means is you will have 3 different morning routines that you can go at depending on how much time you've got on a morning that will help set your day up for success. If you've not got enough time, you can always get up 10 minutes earlier and grab hold of that 10-minute morning routine. If you've got plenty of time in your morning, you can attack that morning with the hour-long morning routine. This means that you've always got options. There is no excuses for not setting your day up for success by having that structured time on a morning to focus on your soul, your mind, and your body. I hope you guys have found this video useful. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below what you like to do during your morning routines and whether this framework you think can help you. Remember that the Just Work On You program is going to be 50% off throughout Black Friday, and actually there is a full week on morning routine. So if you've liked this little snippet, you will love the Just Work On You program and the morning routine week in that. Also remember to keep your eyes peeled for 24, which is gonna go live on the 1st of December. More information on that to come. Keep smashing it, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Remember, anything is possible if you just work. Bye.